you just want to be. At a Diddy party. We'll be right back. Amazon, a.k.a. Jeff Bezos, one of them baby-eating Amazon was sued in a class action lawsuit because they were signing up people to Amazon Prime without them even knowing it. And now everybody getting their credit cards hit for the Amazon Prime that they didn't even know that they had. So you lost the lawsuit, and they still didn't admit no guilt, but the penalty was $1.5 billion to the customers, right? So now they're saying every month eligible Amazon Prime member is eligible to get $51. If it's $1.5 billion, how many people did you sign up to get the number 51, huh? Huh? Because I think you're bullshit. I think you're just going to send out checks to for $51 dollars and then pocket $1 billion. So you really only spending half $1 million. Y'all some sneaky mother. So 29.41 million people got f***ed. If you put 51 into 1.5 billion, yeah, 29.41 million people got fucked. Ain't that about a bitch? 29 million of them. And $1 billion off the top went to Uncle Sam, of course, because, you know, you got to pay the piper. If you're a billionaire, you can just buy your way out of jail, is what they saying. So we actually got 2.5 billion, but $1 billion had to go to Uncle Sam, because Uncle Sam don't give a damn. He's always gonna get his. I tell a joke, I make $100,000. This mother run away with damn near 50% of it. Ain't told their joke. You mother. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Welcome back to NN, where we give it to you straight, no chaser. The Nolan Wells autopsy report is similar. It's very similar to Kendrick Johnson, the brother who was wrapped up in a piece of carpet. Was beaten to death at the high school. Yeah, by his white friends, of course.
We're gonna take a break on it, and we'll come back. Yeah, we'll come back to that. But welcome, you guys. It's not Sunday, but welcome to Kakarot's Sunday Freestyle Church Service. I am the host with your most, even though it is a Friday night. For the past few nights, I've been wanting to get on here and go live, but I've just been busy. And by the time I was getting home, it was almost 10, 11 o'clock and stuff like that. So I didn't want to start super late and have y'all up super late listening to me. But it was a shootout on Hilltop a couple days ago. And I was across the street when it happened and stuff like that. So I just want to give a prayer and shout out to the two brothers. I heard it was two homies that got into that shootout, so shouts out to them. We're just gonna do one song tonight and get it started. And I just want to praise God and get it started. Thank you.
Let's begin. Earthly way. World
gotta do any further, man. Let's get started. We are in the book of Zechariah, chapter 5. Once again, it could be chapter 6 we left. I'm not sure where we left off. Oh. The gods of the earth was it? All right. The word of the day is Zechariah chapter 5. That is Zechariah chapter 5. And it reads as follows. JP Morgan in the house. Cash at me, JP. Okay. Zechariah chapter 5. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, a flying roll. A flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side, according to it. And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off, as on that side, according to it. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof, and the stones thereof. Then the angel that talked with me went forth, and said unto me, Lift up now thine eyes, and see what is this that goeth forth. And I said, What is it? And he said, This is an ephod that goeth forth. He said, Moreover, this is their resemblance through all the earth. And behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephod. And he said, This is wickedness. And he cast it into the midst of the ephod. And he cast the weight of the lead upon the mouth thereof. Then lifted I up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, there came out 2 women, and the wind was in their wings, for they had wings like the wings of a stork. And they lifted up the ephod between the earth and the heaven. Then said I to the angel that talked with me, Whither do these bear the ephod? And he said unto me, To build it in an house. And he said, To build it in an house in the land of Shinir, and it shall be established and set there. upon her own base. And Epa. And I turned and lifted up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from heaven, from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of brass. In the first chariot were red horses, and in the second chariot black horses, and in the third chariot white horses, and in the fourth chariot grizzled and bay horses. Grizzled and bay horses. Then I answered and said unto the angel that talked with me, What are these, my Lord? And the angel answered and said unto me, These are the 4 spirits of the heavens, which go forth from standing before the Lord of all the earth. The black horses which are therein go forth into the north country, and the white go forth after them, and the grizzled go forth toward the south country. Hi, Janae. Welcome. And the bay went forth and sought to go, that they might walk to and fro through the earth. And he said, Get you hence, walk to and fro through the earth. So they walked to and fro through the earth. Then cried he upon me, and spoke unto me, saying, Behold, these that go toward the north country have quieted my spirit in the north country. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Take of them of the captivity, even of Heldai, of Tobijah, and of Jedediah, which are come from Babylon, and come thou the same day, and go into the house of Josiah, the son of Zephaniah, the son of Zephaniah. Ooh. Was he? Hi. Okay. The son of Zephaniah. Then take silver and gold, and make crowns, and set them upon the head of Joshua, the son of Josedek, the high priest, and speak unto him, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, Behold, the man whose name is the branch, and he shall grow up out of his place, and he shall build the temple of the Lord. Even he shall build the temple of the Lord, and he shall bear the glory, and shall sit and rule upon his throne, and he shall be a priest upon his throne, and the counsel of peace shall be between them both. He's at it again. What up, you guys? Thank you. We are in Zephaniah, the book of Oh, sorry. The book of Zechariah, chapter 6, verse 14. Okay. And the crown shall be to Helim, and to Tobijah, and to Jedediah, and to Hem, the son of Zephaniah, for a memorial in the temple of the Lord. And they that are far off shall come and build in the temple of the Lord. And ye shall know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me unto you. And this shall come to pass, if ye will diligently obey the voice of the Lord your God. All right. I know. And it came to pass in the 4th year of King Darius, chapter 7, that the word of the Lord came unto Zechariah in the 4th day of the 9th month, even in Chislu, when they had sent unto the house of God Sherazar, the regime Malik, and their men, to pray before the Lord, and to speak unto the priests which were in the house of the Lord of hosts, and to the prophets, saying, Should I weep in the 5th month, separating myself, as I have done these so many years? Then came the word of the Lord of hosts unto me, saying, Speak unto all the people of the land, and to the priests, saying, When ye fasted and mourned in the 5th and 7th month, even those 70 years, did ye at all fast unto me, even to me? And when ye did eat, and when ye did drink, did not ye eat for yourselves, and drink for yourselves? Should ye not hear the words which the Lord hath cried by the former prophets, when Jerusalem was inhabited, and in prosperity, and the cities thereof round about her, when men inhabited the south and the plain? And the word of the Lord came unto Zechariah, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, Execute true judgment, and show mercy and compassion, every man to his brother, and oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. But they refused to hearken, and pulled away the shoulder, and stopped their ears, that they should not hear. Yea, they made their hearts as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law, and the words which the Lord of hosts hath sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from the Lord of hosts. Therefore it is come to pass, that as he cried, and they would not hear, so they cried, and I would not hear, saith the Lord of hosts. But I scattered them with a whirlwind among all the nations, whom they knew not. Thus the land was desolate after them, that no man passed through, nor returned. For they laid the pleasant land desolate. Thank you. Chapter 8. And you guys, like I said, I just had to come and read. I had some good news. Some great things happened to me. And but not to me. For me. By me. Love me, you know. And I just wanted to share how good Emmanuel has been. Oh Emmanuel, oh God with us, how wonderful. The omnipotent, one true God, the love of hosts, has done. And I had to share it. So Zechariah and Malachi. Okay, Zechariah got some heat. Excuse me, we go for that. Alright. Chapter 8. Zacharias. Right? And it came to pass. Oh, chapter 8. Again, the word of the Lord. Again, the word of the Lord of hosts came to me, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I was jealous for Zion with great jealousy, and I was jealous for him with great fury. Thus saith the Lord, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth, and the mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, There shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with a staff in his hand, for very age. And the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, If it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in these days, should it also be marvelous in mine eyes, saith the Lord of hosts. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country, and I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God, in truth and in righteousness. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Let your hands be strong, ye that hear in these days these words, by the mouth of the prophets, which were in the day that the foundation of the house of the Lord of hosts was laid, that the temple might be built. For before these days there was no hire for man, nor any hire for beast, neither was there any peace to him that went out or came in because of the affliction. For I set all men, everyone, against his neighbor. But now I will not be unto the residue of this people as in the former days, saith the Lord of hosts. For the seed shall be prosperous, the vine shall give her fruit, and the ground shall give her increase, and the heavens shall give their due. And I will cause the remnant of this people to possess all these things. Hi, Janae, welcome back. And it should come to pass that as ye were a curse among the heathen, O house of Judah and house of Israel, so will I save you, and ye shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hands be strong. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, As I thought to punish you when your fathers provoked me to wrath, saith the Lord of hosts, and I repented not. So again have I thought in these days to do well in Jerusalem and to the house of Judah. Fear ye not. These are the things that ye shall do. Speak ye every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute the judgment of truth, and peace in your gates. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor, and love no false oath. For all these things that I hate, saith the Lord. And the word of the Lord of hosts came unto me, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the fast of the 4th month, and the fast of the 5th, and the fast of the 7th, and the fast of the 10th, shall be the house of Judah. Joy and gladness and cheerful feasts. Therefore, love the truth and peace. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, it shall yet come to pass that there shall come people, and the inhabitants of many cities, and the inhabitants of one city shall go to another, saying, Let us go speedily to pray before the Lord, and seek the Lord of hosts. I will go also. Yeah, many people and strong nations shall come to seek the Lord of hosts in Jerusalem, and to pray before the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, We will go with you, for we have heard that God is with you. 10 nations. The burden of the word of the Lord of, chapter 9. Zechariah chapter 9. The burden of the word of the Lord in the land of Hadre and Damascus shall be the rest thereof. When the eyes of man, as of all the tribes of Israel, shall be toward the Lord, and Hamath also shall border thereby. Tyrus and Zidon, though it be very wise. And Tyrus did build herself a stronghold, and heaped up silver as the dust, and fine gold as the mirror of the streets. Behold, the Lord will cast her out, and he will smite her power in the sea, and she shall be devoured with fire. Ashkelon shall see it and fear. Gaza also shall see it and be very sorrowful. And Ekron, for her expectation, shall be ashamed. And the king shall perish from Gaza. And Ashkelon shall not be inhabited. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. And I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. And I will take away his blood out of his mouth, and his abominations from between his teeth. But he that remaineth, even he, shall be for our God, and he shall be as a governor in Judah, and Ekron as a Jebusite. And I will encamp about mine house because of the army, because of him that passeth by, and because of him that returneth, and no oppressor shall pass through them any more. For now have I seen with mine eyes. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, thy king cometh unto thee. He is just, and having salvation, lowly, and riding upon an ass, and upon a colt the foal of an ass. And I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim, and the horse from Jerusalem. And the battle bow shall be cut off, and he shall speak peace unto the heathen. And his dominion shall be from sea even to sea, and from the river even to the ends of the earth. As for thee also, by the blood of thy covenant I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit, wherein is no water. Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man. And the Lord shall be seen over them, and his arrow shall go forth as a lightning, and the Lord shall blow the trumpet, and and shall go forth with whirlwinds of the south. The Lord of hosts shall defend them, and they shall devour and subdue with sling stones. And they shall drink and make a noise as through wine, and they shall be filled like bowls, and they shall be filled like bowls, and as the corners of the altar. And the Lord their God shall save them in that day, as the flock of his people. For they shall be as the stones of a crowd, lifted up as an ensign upon his land. For how great is his goodness, and how great is his beauty. Corn shall make the young men cheerful, and new wine the maids. Chapter 10. Ask ye of the Lord, rain in the time of the latter rain. So the Lord shall make bright clouds, and give them showers of rain to every one grass in the field. Ask ye of the Lord, rain in the time of the latter rain. So the Lord shall make bright clouds, and give them showers of rain to every one grass in the field. For the idols have spoken vanity, and the diviners have seen a lie, and have told false dreams. They comforted in vain. Therefore they went their way as a flock. They were troubled because there was no shepherd. My anger was kindled against the shepherds, and I punished the goats. For the Lord of hosts hath visited his flock, the house of Judah, and hath made them as his goodly horse in the battle. Out of him came forth the corner, out of him the nail, out of him the battle bow, out of him every oppressor together. And they shall be as mighty men which tread down their enemies in the mire of the streets in the battle. And they shall fight because of the Lord is with them. And the riders on the horses shall be confounded. And I will strengthen the house of Judah, and I will save the house of Joseph. And I will bring them again to place them, for I have mercy upon them. And they shall be as though I had not cast them off, for I am the Lord their God, and will hear them. And they of Ephraim shall be like a mighty man, and their heart shall rejoice as through wine. Yea, their children shall see it, and be glad. Their heart shall rejoice in the Lord. I will hiss for them, and gather them, for I have redeemed them. And they shall increase as they have increased. And I will sow them among the people, and they shall remember me in far countries. And they shall live with their children, and turn again. I will bring them again also out of the land of Egypt, and gather them out of Assyria. And I will bring them into the land of Gilead and Lebanon, and place shall not be found for them. And he shall pass through the sea with affliction, and shall smite the waves in the sea, and all the deeps of the river shall dry up, and the pride of Assyria shall be brought down, and the sceptre of Egypt shall depart away. And I will strengthen them in the Lord, and they shall walk up and down in his name, saith the Lord. Open thy doors, O Lebanon, that the fire may devour thy cedars. Howl, fir trees, for the cedar is fallen, because the mighty are spoiled. Howl, O ye oaks of Bashan, for the forest of the vintage is come down. There is a voice of the howling of the shepherds, for their glory is spoiled, a voice of the roaring of young lions, for the pride of Jordan is spoiled. Thus saith the Lord, my God, feed the flock of the sorrow, whose possessors slay them, and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. For I will no more pity the inhabitants of the land, saith the Lord. But lo, I will deliver them in, every one into his neighbor's hand, and into the hand of his king, and they shall smite the land, and out of their hand I will not deliver them. And I will feed the flock of slaughter, even you, O poor of the flock. And I took unto me 2 staffs, the one I called beauty, and the other I called bands. And I fed the flock. 3 shepherds also I cut off in 1 month, and my soul loathed them, and their soul also abhorred me. Then said I would not feed you. That dieth, let it die, and that is to be cut off, let it be cut off, and let the rest eat, everyone, the flesh of another. And I took my staff, even beauty, and cut it asunder, that I might break my covenant which I had made with all the people. And it was broken in that day. And so the poor of the flock that waited upon me knew that it was the word of the Lord. And I said unto them, if ye think good, give me my price, and if not, forbear. So they weighed for my price 30 pieces of silver. And the Lord said unto me, cast it unto the potter, a goodly price, that I was prized out of them. And I took the 30 pieces of silver, and cast them to the potter in the house of the Lord. Then I cut asunder mine other staff, even bands, that I might break the brotherhood between Tacoma and Africa. And the Lord said unto me, take unto thee yet the instruments of a foolish shepherd, for lo, I will raise up a shepherd in the land, which shall not visit those that be cut off, neither shall seek the young one, nor heal that is broken, nor feed that standeth still. But he shall eat the flesh of the fat, and tear their claws in pieces. Woe to the idle shepherd that leaveth the flock. The sword shall be upon his arm, and upon his right eye. His arm shall be clean dried up, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened. Chapter 12. The burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, saith the Lord, which stretcheth forth the heavens, and layeth the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. In that day, saith the Lord, I will smite every horse with astonishment, and his rider with madness. And I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah, and will smite every horse of the people with blindness. And the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength in the Lord of hosts, their God. In that day will I make the governors of Judah like an earth of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a sheaf. And they shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left. And Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. And Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first, and the glory of the house of David, and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Do not magnify themselves against Judah. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, and the angel of the Lord before them. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. And I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of my supplications. And they shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him, as one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him. Let me read that. In that day, verse 8. Zechariah chapter 12, verse 8. Welcome, Nene. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, And he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem, and I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of my supplications, and they shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him as one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. In that day shall there be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of Hadad Rimmon in the valley of Megiddon. And the land shall mourn every family apart, and the family of the house of David apart, and their wives apart, the family of the house of Nathan apart, and their wives apart, the family of the house of Levi apart, and their wives apart, the family of Shimei apart, and their wives apart, all the families that remain, every family apart, and their wives apart. In that day, chapter 13, in that day there shall be a fountain open to the house of David, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, for sin and for uncleanness. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will cut off the names of the idols out of the land, and they shall no more be remembered. And also I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirit to pass out of the land. And it shall come to pass that when an army shall yet prophesy, then his father and his mother that begat him shall say unto him, Thou shalt not live, for thou speakest lies in his name of the Lord. And his father and his mother that begat him shall thrust him through when he prophesied. When he prophesies. Okay. Bear with me, y'all. And it shall come to pass in that day there shall be a fountain open to the house of David and inhabitants of Jerusalem for sin and for uncleanness. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will cut off the names of the idols out of the land, and they shall no more be remembered. And also I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirit to pass out of the land. And it shall come to pass that when any shall yet prophesy, then his father and his mother that begat him shall say unto him, Thou shalt not live, for thou speakest lies in the name of the Lord. And his father and his mother that begat him shall thrust him through when he prophesies. And it shall come to pass in that day that the prophet shall be ashamed, every one of his vision, when he hath prophesied. Neither shall they wear a rough garment to deceive. But he shall say, I am no prophet, I am no husbandman. For men taught me to keep cattle from my youth. And one shall say unto him, What are these wounds in thine hands? Then he shall answer, Those with which I was wounded in the house of my friends. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn mine hand upon the little ones. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, It is my people, and they shall say, The Lord is my God. I know, Zechariah. I don't want to just. Oh, it's only 11. Okay. I'm thinking it's like 12, 1 o'clock. Thank God Zechariah, y'all. And I'll hit one Malachi. Would you believe it if I bang this Zechariah? Zechariah is on 14. Morehouse chapter 14. That is crucial right now. Steady, steady rocking all night. Solid as a rock. Solid as a rock. Steady. Nigga, he done. Nigga, he done. He done. 2, 3. 8. But shut up, boy. That worked. That did. Trying to fit some in for 8. Trying to fit 8. It with my granddad. No, you ain't about to shit. You are your. Who is that? Oh, snaps. What's happening? What's going on? I didn't see you. Nene came in here. Your name was in here. Visitor, what's happening? 9602. I didn't have to take a break real quick. My stomach started to growl. Just a little bit. Just a little bit, my dog. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, thank you. Yeah, you guys, when I'll try not to make y'all wait, but my stomach gets like super empty. I know it's because I be smoking. So I be smoking. I can't even speak no more. I'm so hungry. I can't even talk. So I'll be having to just eat something real quick. So you have to excuse me. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's like a diabetic almost, but praise God I'm not diabetic. But I had to eat something. I'm not even able to talk. So I just want to praise God. I know it's not every time I be here, but I do thank her for participating and asking where we at, where are we. That means a lot to me. She did participate in the past. She's been along with my journey. So that question means a lot from the both of us, and her seeing my grind, my triumph, you know, and my surrender to God. We are, praise God, we are in the last chapter of Zechariah. Zechariah chapter 14. The last one. Right here. It starts in my Bible. Chapter 14. And once we do that, Zechariah, the book of Zechariah will be done. Finished. And we can start the book of Malachi, which is the last book of the Old Testament. This will be book. What's up, Quine? I'm not even gonna try to say it, but Washington. What's up? The last book, 39 books in the Old Testament. This would be 39. So we're about to hit 38 right now and chop 38 off. But yeah, the book of Malachi will be next. Zechariah is dope. Zechariah is like the protector, it's like the founder, like everything's safe in his hand. It gets rough, it gets rowdy, it's dangerous, son, everything. It gets deadly. Zechariah gets super crazy. But God's with them. God's blessed them. God's protecting them. God's sending them, telling them to go do it. That's what makes Zacharias the biggest. Because God's actually telling them to do these things. So when it does get wild, it does get crazy, it does get heavy, God has provided him the blessings that he would take care of him. And basically asked him to do it. So, praise God. Praise him. Okay, excuse me for the wait. Zechariah chapter 14. And it reads as follows. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh. And thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle. And the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and the half of the city, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity. Now this is what's going to be crucial, because it's not a riddle at all, but I can see his riddle. Poetry, his choreography, because it's like a catch-23, not 22. And the catch-23 is God's people are already in captivity, so it'll be impossible for them to go back into it. And not saying like it couldn't happen, it wouldn't be possible if they're already there. So we can't be talking about them. So that's what makes it very fun and wise to have God on our side. Because again, you can't be talking about them. And he isn't talking about them. So that's what makes it fun to me. Okay, you guys, hold on. I gotta do this TikTok thing. Otherwise, they're gonna cut me off. Come on, cuz. It's this phone. My phone is so slow. Okay. Alright. So you gotta do all that, otherwise they cut you off. You gotta like match this thing. Because my phone's so slow, it has a huge delay. So I'm sitting there like 5 seconds waiting for it to react. And then I miss because I might have slid it the right way. But because my phone has a delay. Anyways, so okay. So I thought that stood out because they're already in captivity. So the Lord couldn't be talking about them when he says half will go into captivity. And you got to understand, what half does God always punish anyway? If we don't know God from now, Think of even Jonah in the whale didn't die. He didn't die. Nor could I remember God having to heal him. Verse just already taking care of Jonah the whole time he was in the whale. So he didn't have to lift a finger, really. Just being there with Jonah made sure nothing bad happened to him. So that becomes the difference. And Jonah's one of the heaviest. Something can happen to you because you did do something bad kind of stories. So Cain killed Abel, and Abel didn't do anything. So that shows in this life with those rules, it's Job. Who did this to Job? So Cain killed his brother Abel, even though Abel was good. So that showed whose vision. Because you got to understand, murder now becomes the case that they gave me. Murder becomes evidence. Not even the key suspect. Murder suspect number one. Nothing would have happened if it wasn't for murder. So murder is like a living organism. If fire can destroy at times, murder serves as a purpose to deliver just as such. The same I guess consequences without the same permission to have that proper judgment to do. So now fire can murder people. Something pure that obeys and is built on respect is now godless because it now has a deceptive force behind it. The fire from heaven thought to be God in deceptive eyes, right? So that presents the 50. That presents the half. That presents the solution of slashing. It's a resource. And if the world literally is only God's amount anyway, the devil's population pushing it to this 500, trillion people on earth. Becomes only because 250 are gods, 250 are Satan's. So when he slashes it in half, the reason he's destroying the half, because he doesn't need to mention the other half. The other half would be exactly those who walked with him, those who obeyed, those who trusted him. That represents the 250. That's what I want to try to teach and lead and give everybody a part of that. Why wouldn't you guys? Don't you want to be a part of that? This whole thing is to get you on God's side. But you have to follow Kakarot to get there. That becomes the next step to see. I'm progressing. Follow Kakarot to that extent. I've grown to that. I've gained that responsibility through my actions, through my fight, through my earnings, what I had to go through, everything. Okay. Alright, let's try this again. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the cities shall be taken, and the houses rifled. Remember that. That's strict. Houses rifled. That means this peace, this heaven on earth, this gift of everyone loving each other and being calm is going to get broken. When God prophesies houses rifled, that no longer means love your neighbor. You're going to love him. But if you shall attack. See, it's Cain and Abel in reverse. Abel gets to attack now. So that becomes if you see how it is when the lamb gets killed, And it's, oh my God, I can't believe. Right? Something that didn't deserve it. And you thought that bloodshed wasn't fair. And wasn't right. It didn't go right. It didn't look right. It didn't add up. It didn't fit. Have you ever seen something innocent killed? Matter of fact, hold on. Doesn't even have to be killed. Have you ever seen something innocent's blood spill and be shed? When something innocent's pierced and their blood is shed, it never looks right because that's not what's supposed to happen. So it looks worse because it's like something's wounded that can get help, and you're watching it suffer without help. Then, so that's the bloodshed of something innocent. There's a difference. If someone walks up to someone, stabs them for no reason, and they start bleeding, then you have someone that did do something bad, and their blood, they get, punctured, and they get, their blood, slobs out, right? And they're on that. Their blood flow is different. When their blood comes out, it's different because it's meant. See, what you have is God's Bible is in every human. And God's people, the holy, the chosen, you're not meant to. You're not meant to shed blood that way. Then you have something whose body actually is, like bullseye. And it's meant for it. Versus the crosshair body. You have the bullseye body. And it's meant to be punctured and, shed. So their bleeding is different. Two different results. Like if you was to put fire to one and fire to the other, and one didn't light, and the other one burnt on fire, so you knew, okay, this one a light on fire, this one would. That's the human body. It's not meant for these things. That's why it looks that way. Then you have the actual meant. So this is how he's trying to describe the houses. So imagine houses like that, where it's meant to go and do these things to these people. Versus how if the white man came and just started kicking black people's doors in, doing things to these people, and they're innocent, then you have, because God is prophesizing it, nothing, no one can do, no one's going to be able to escape, you ain't going to be able to run from it, you can't do anything about it. And the women ravished. This becomes Jehovah. Like, oh my God. Do you hear this? The women ravished. Do you know what that means? That means rape, ran through, disrespected. When he says ravished, like, and I'm not trying to depict something. There's people, we're going to do this. There's people that are women. And they do it with multiple individuals. So the woman has nowhere to go. And for the whole night, when I say whole night, I mean hours, she already didn't want one. And you have force after force, line after line, my turn, my turn, my turn. And that's the intention of taking these people. There's people right now screaming because that's happening to them. And this is by force, and they're innocent. And occasionally you may catch a bad woman, a serial, killer, or something like someone that did something bad, and their punishment. In some places, they ravish these women. They make them less than what they were. If a woman is meant to be on a pedestal, and they know that, and treat a woman right, and they love her, then you get this person, and they show them like, okay, so if we're supposed to die for this woman, you're about to die for us men, because you're not a real woman, you're not this woman. And they do everything that you wouldn't do to a woman, and they do it to them. That's ravished. That's completely the definition. Being completely desolate, treated backwards, not like that. So that's what happens. Right. It's the pic, like, and this is by force, screaming at the top of their lungs for hours, because it's so many people. That, if one person, he's about to, however long, and it stops. Like, even if it's one person R-ing either a male or a female, at one point it's gonna have to come to an end, right? And it's like, even if it was for hours, it has to stop. Then that one person, right? Someone else, someone else, someone else, someone else. So it's never ending. And then what you have is possibly to really hurt this person 24 hours. So many people, 24 hours. It never stopped. To death. Literally. The whole time, everyone, no, you never wanted it. And this is men as well. This is what makes it so sad. There'll be 100 kidnappers ready to R a man in this crack. Straight up. All of them get one. Get a turn. Get to go. You know what I mean? Everyone. And they're doing stuff like that. So then now what's up? How you doing? Now I want you to picture God. This is what's crazy. Because you have a world where the devil will R word. What's up, ATL? Thank you. You're in a world where the devil will R word a male or a female. Like right now, somebody got sexually a word, right? What can we do? What did we do? Did we even know? Did we hear that person screaming? You understand what I'm saying? What can we do? So the fact that that's how it happens, but this is the devil. This is Satan doing that to the world. And look at the damage. But the good thing about R, God has God's hand. God is there. God is here. God is right there with everybody. You understand what I'm saying? So when it happens, I can't tell you. I haven't been R word. You know what I mean? But from experience of him and what he's taught me, when someone gets R word, and the real one, like the victim, the innocent, the person that really doesn't want it and doesn't deserve it, really can cry out to God and be heard, right? When that happens, Jehovah comes and the Lord of hosts takes over, and that individual that's abusing the person may still 100% be in control, but just God and the victim, 100% whatever happened, however far it went, Jehovah was there and was doing it, not just the person or the person. This is from personal love and experience. He's there. He's raised me for these things, to understand and know these things, to become a fan of, R word like, superhero. You know what I mean? In a sense. And I've been fascinated by that. To save someone from that is the fascination. It's the biggest turn on in the world to know, even if someone's doing that to someone, that's not the result. Even if it appeared, at the worst, that's not even what happened. So, who wouldn't be fascinated with that? You understand? Perfect. It's like the best way to have faith for women and men. Straight up, that's how it works. So, he comes, he rescues, he saves. He'll be there with you, either taking it with you or the one doing it. And he's blessed the holy prophet to be able to, the holy prophet Daniel, to be able to be that salvator in the Bible, in the world, in the world. Actually, there's a holy prophet in the Bible who's capable of doing that. Should I say? So that becomes, the essay, the R word effect, the ravishing effect of it. That's where God is the most important, I believe. In those situations. So now, the person that does that 24/7 versus the person attempting to do it to people, the word ravished, in a disrespectful way, not God wholly relieving one or having to force someone on it, and then Jehovah taking that and now presenting it to the other half. Because what you have is a 50-50. But because it only occurs intentionally to the other 50, which is of holy, the partaking in it had to become because the other half was either tying the woman down or viewed it. So that's the bloodline of the 50. So because she's either available for it, careless in her heart, or she's just one of their 50, that now becomes the lifestyle. You understand? Satan's women are going to be ravished in front of the world. So you have to pay attention to the screams and see the world as of God's faith. Because I'm teaching you, He wouldn't hurt us. Fear God. But you're not here to run from something that you're already running from, which is bad. You're already running from God, so you're scared of Him, which is now going to lead you to run from Him, as I say, because you know He'll do something like that, which He'll not do, even if it's in front of you. Because we saw innocent people die. If someone's screaming for help, we automatically give them innocence. Think of the rules. Look at how someone innocent, with no badness in their background, can untimely succumb horribly, tragically, violently. And what about their screams? His screams, her screams. What about them? Right? So now, the art of screaming in danger is now what subject? Forcibly. Following the route of it. Not prejudicedly, biasedly, not for self-sufficiency. What's the law when something happens? Look at who screams for help. So now, because screaming for help, what happens is ignored. Look at the protocol when someone's screaming for help. You could be running to help Satan. Isn't that sad? Because it's forged. The scream for help will always be the devil. So that's that trick in the wind. Help me, help me, help me. You go in there, you get killed. Then the reality, someone's screaming for help, you go in and try to help them, you both get killed. Doing the right thing. So look at the reality of the screams. So now you see it's been poised, it's been played. There's something wrong with life. Those screams for help, you're only crying to God. So now imagine those screams for help in the fire that God himself didn't put you in. Who are you known to call? The person in charge of putting you in there. But if God himself didn't put you in that fire, nor cause it, have responsibility for those flames, who is this voice we're trying to rescue? Verse the voice that's trying to rescue us, and at the same time needs help clearly himself. Because look at the reality of it. Who's the voice for good screaming help? Wouldn't have been any of us. And we just separated bad from that. So the righteous, Jesus, Holy Spirit, my hair, Sylvania, love, one, Kakarot, Emmanuel, that voice, Mother Mary Magdalene, of course her. That voice would be, thank you, Mother Mary, she would be. That voice would be God screaming and crying out, hollering and yelling in the wind. Then you have, the victim itself and their own fire, abused by their own hands, tarnished by their own relentlessness, destroyed by their own demise, and they're only crying for him who they turned on. So it's their own fate. He who caused the fire himself. So you couldn't get angry at someone that doesn't think that way. And if God's here to raise his children, who's the devil's children to him? Someone their father couldn't raise on their own, help stand up and defend, and now is looking for Jehovah to help raise them. So that's not fair. It's not what you want to do. It's not who you want to be. Not who you want to worship. Not who you want to be led by. So you're forced to call the power of your destruction as the hands of who kept it and brought it and did it, when it's the hands of the person who threw it in the first place, put it on you and unleashed it on you in the first place. Those are the circumstances. That's the scenario. That's religion. That's who you've been known to worship. That's who you've been known to grow to fear. That's who you've been known to be led by with from no hope. Circumstantial to lead you to no hope. It's all been from him. The disastrous, unholy, the murderers. That's who we've been praying to get us from, relieve us from, not to punish us from the only thing to fear. There's nothing to fear with God. What comes to fear you? So once you spot that desolation, that deprivement, that without something, someone's doing that to the human body that's fully equipped. Someone's begging God to take something from you, and it becomes in their hands to do it. They choose war. So they can be your friend, they can be, what up, kids, a victim, not an ally, however, but they come like that, not holding you down, in the form of holding you down. Don't get me wrong, the Illuminati comes with a briefcase and a smile, so they know your birthday. Oh my gosh. How'd you know in the chat? Like, they come with all type of stuff, man. It's crazy people that have access to every file, or all the files go to them anyway. That's who you submitted it to. The government, right? Come with information about you. This is what's crazy. The only person in life that knows stuff about thought you was white people. All of a sudden some white person comes up talking, saying stuff to you. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Because I think maybe even that, maybe the disguise of slavery to be hatred intentionally in your face is now what they disguise as psychological warfare, which already existed, is now this rabid illusion. Because the only thing that stopped you was success, the fame, the television, the reach for your stars, and holy happiness. The only thing that got you. But even if you see the complaints, the leading, so quiet because they can't make too much noise. The leading of a black person just down, while the white person gets shot up right in front of your face, and you don't see it. But everyone's just so wrapped up on this, white man's gonna let us do stuff. And instead of just running to your grave, you're running down with a goal and dream in your hand, in your head, your life, your spirit, your heart, to the grave. You got something to hope on. And that was just a cover up. That was just a way to, store it somewhere else. Cause look where they put it. They put it in the business, the handshakes, your deals, your opportunity. How you get to go out in front of your people. It's always some catch to kill a couple of them in the midst of your, you're finding out certain things. You gotta put that in there. It's just everything, and this is what's crazy. A nigga ain't supposed to be successful. So that's where you really should start. Look at you ain't supposed to be there and go from there. You'll see every plan they got. Because they're not smart. And think, what did they really do? They didn't get as far as a nigga could go. They had to keep their eye on them every day. What did they really do? So they're not that far, not that smart. As far as the shady, because you can't do too much. They don't have, look at what the famous white person did. And if he didn't fly to the moon and back himself in his pants, how are you supposed to do it or try it? Or not be able to think like that? So, think like that, That's where it's really at. It's as far as they got with us. And they're only asking you to try to get it farther so they can see it. They gotta ask you because they disguise it as a freedom. They can double back take it, have an attitude. But because everything's in your life and life is free of success, they have to oppress you the same format. In the form of taking it from you, but it has to be in the form you still had it and you're still living it. Waking up every day to this hell, this slavery. But waking up and what we put you through yesterday, that you woke up today and got put through, what you're going to sit there and dread for tomorrow. That becomes that. They allowed you to wake up. In this case, they allowed you to see success. That's what bubbled it. That's what bubbled it. Because what you have is an upcoming black man or woman that may have had a store, that could have been a lawyer, could have been a doctor, was killed. That's why the history doesn't exist. Because you got to think, when was niggers start to get taught and teach and do great things? What prevented it? Sure it wasn't him. So that same entourage, that same mentality has to show itself. That's where you're at. And since no event has taken place, they only sit on the same knowledge and history that they've had in the past. So you have to find the past tools. Or if this case, since they wanted to try things, look at what's new. But it would be tested. Wouldn't have been efficient. So that's because that it has to be of old. We're sure not going to give them new ammunition. So that's the definite. You just gotta find your way, man. The way is to their lost, false, hopeless God. That's the objective. To keep God as your everything. Your God, the one true God, the God that wrote the Bible, that's crawling, crying, yelling, hollering, and shouting, is begging you to come to Him, back to Him, and pay attention. Know your worth. Know Him. Know the true name of the Lord in this book you read. Don't go to someone that shorthands you, beats you, treats you bad. That's the book. The book is to teach you the way. But you gotta ask yourself, what's the way? Then you look. If yesterday you're sitting there still, I hope I can get to God today. I hope I can get to God today. I hope I can get to God. It's 3 days in a row. I hope I can get to God today. That's a setup. You know why? Because people 200 years ago said, I hope I can get to God today. Look at you. You're just a line. And every day they know they got to deal with that's what you're going to say. Because that's like food. If every day man cannot live off bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Father, you're waiting for your God to speak. Guess what you have as your only coordination to go and lead by? The only thing that has opened his mouth, the only thing that gave you something. Hope I can get to God today. And it's like, that's your bread. That's it. And you believe, just like that, command these stones to be turned bread. You believe you're worshiping. You are doing the act of Satan telling Jesus to do it. And you're saying yes. But you don't know that's it itself. Because you hope you can get to God today. It's been impossible. It's been impossible for you not. And in this world, they tell you to die believing in Him. Instead of live knowing Him. You understand? Live knowing Him. But to die believing in Him. Because they know you ain't that the wrong way. So you're dying believing in Him. The white man they put in front of you. Blonde haired, blue eyes. Even if you get rid of him. You haven't got rid of his ways. You guys got to understand it's not just an image. I think that's what you guys think. If we don't celebrate President's Day anymore, but we still live in America, do you see where I'm going? You see what I'm saying? It's still in it. It's still gonna follow us. We still are foundated in the place that we are noticing. We dislike certain things. Been noticed, however noticed, but look at the notice of today. We don't like it. So the rebellious is, this world is not my home. You understand what I'm saying? So there's no world, people, but I refuse to be treated bad to a place that does accept me. Even if the world itself chooses to hate me. I remember it hated Him. My Lord, my God, my Savior, my King, my 323, my Goddess, my Mother, my Magdalene. It hated me first. So I don't have to worry about that. There's no fear to me. Nothing. Nothing in this world can fear me and make me afraid and scared to do my thing. So that's the message. You see how deeper I'm getting and closer? Every day I get further and further explaining. Your strings are being misled, pulled, and aggressively R-worded. Sodom and Gomorrah style. by someone that knows and sees and feels they can do it, aka God. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, chapter 14, Zechariah. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. Oh, I'm sorry. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished. Our word, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and half, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. That's the other half. Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle, and his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem, on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof, toward the east and toward the west. And there shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove toward the north, and half of it toward the south. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azal. Yeah, ye shall flee, like as ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah. And the Lord my God shall come, and all the saints with thee. And it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark, but it shall be one day which shall be known to the Lord, not day nor night. But it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. And it shall be in that day that living waters shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea, and half of them toward the hinder sea. In summer and in winter shall it be. And it shall be in that day that the living waters shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea, half of them toward the hinder sea. In summer and winter it shall it be. And the Lord shall be king over all the earth. In that day shall there be one Lord, and his name one. All the land shall be turned as a plain from Gibeah to Rimmon, south of Jerusalem. And it shall be lifted up and inhabited in her place, from Benjamin's gate unto the place of the first gate, unto the corner gate, and from the tower of Haneel unto the king's wine presses. And men shall dwell in it, and there shall be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away, while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away, while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their hold, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up the hand of his neighbor. And Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together, gold and silver and apparel in great abundance. And so shall the plague of the horse, of the mule, of the camel, and of the ass, and of all the beasts that shall be in these tents, as this plague, which came against Jerusalem, shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be the plague, like the heathen that come not up to the feast, not up to keep the feast of tabernacles. This shall be the punishment, not up to keep the feast of tabernacles. And the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the feast of tabernacles. In that day shall there be upon the bells of the horses holiness unto the Lord, and the pots in the Lord's house in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness unto the Lord of hosts. And all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them, and sieve them, and in that day a Canaanite in the house of the Lord of hosts. Wow. Dang, Zechariah, bruh. He's starting. Zechariah is crazy because if that's John's dad, think of John's dad. Think of John the Baptist. And look at what Zechariah is doing on his own. That's just introducing Zechariah. That's John the Baptist's pops. So look at Zechariah's fame before John is even born. And they say, your dad, Zechariah, what? That's Zechariah's son? You know what I'm saying? That's Elizabeth's boy. But look at Zechariah, bro. And look how God introduced Zechariah. Because the start of the whole new, everything we're about to pray and believe begins with Zechariah, Elizabeth, Joseph, and Mary. So Zechariah, Elizabeth, Mary, and Joseph, like straight up. Everything starts with the four. So having his book first is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And look at the work he put in. He almost freed them basically himself. He basically freed all the slaves himself, pretty much. But got him ready. Look how he's lining them up. Because I see John's work. He's making John work. John has work. Zechariah is not. His head is on straight, making his boy work. John is like a slave nigga out, and he is in the field. His dad made that boy work. Everybody gonna know John, like straight up. Like I can already feel it. Cause look at Zechariah. But we gotta get it. I love you, pops. Love you, uncle, man. I love you, Zechariah. Praise be to you, man. Can't wait to get up there with you, meet you, and see you and greet you. My pops has passed away, so ain't no telling. You know, my mom's gone too, so the story's crazy. The book of Malachi, chapter 1. The burden of the word of the Lord of Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and I laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So Edom becomes, oh man, we just finished Zechariah. So Edom becomes, yeah, Edom becomes, I'm gonna put it like this. This is how I feel. Edom becomes, if the devil's responsible for inflicting people to sin, and God 100% gives that sin into Satan's responsibility. That's why you are led, turned, and betrayed to go falsely that way. But still Eve's responsibility amongst herself. But, right, it wouldn't have happened if he didn't do it. I think Edom becomes, we did this. We responsible for this, and we held that. And Edom, you guys, is like the Satan hedge that inflicts the sin. And because Edom did it. So it becomes when the human's responsible for it. Because Edom becomes, let's see if Cain and Abel would do the same thing. Thought to do the same thing to his brother Jacob. So because of that, it becomes the self-hate inside that we can away from the devil. Okay. And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, the Lord will be magnified from the border of Israel. A son honoreth his father, and a servant his master. If then I be a father, where is mine honor? And if I be a master, where is my fear? Saith the Lord of hosts unto you, O priests, that despise my name. And ye say, wherein have we despised thy name? Ye offer polluted bread upon mine altar. And ye say, wherein have we polluted thee? And that ye say, the table of the Lord is contemptible. That's me. But it's also them on a highly, this is what they would be doing. But it's also, well, maybe it's not me, but I feel like it's me saying God is this, God is that, God ain't what he's supposed to be and all that, teaching it. And he's speaking. Well, watch this. What he says, son honoreth his father, and the servant honoreth his master. And then here's how real God is. If a son honors his father, what did I just teach you? And if a servant honors his master, where's your master? Then you got to think of the servant. What is the servant here to do? Serve somebody wicked, or serve somebody holy, good, honest, true, pure. That becomes the reality. See, where God got introduced, so the servant, which is us, we're master to a God that was taught to us. So we're already loyal to turn our backs to God, as Adam and Eve. Eve listened to the devil, bit the forbidden fruit. We're already programmed to disobey because we don't know God, and because we've been introduced to so much hatred, so much violence, so much death, so much pain, so much rage, so much R word, with no one helping. No one can save it, nothing to stop it. God becomes whether or not it happened or not. How bad it happened. Did he save people after it happened? But if you see, that's all the murderer. That's all the violent one. That's all the catastrophe creator. That's all the person that started all these issues in life. If the devil is the murderer, you're begging the devil not to kill you. But in the world, if God shows who lives or dies, but the devil gets to kill you, the devil now becomes who you see has all the power, because it's the person that's doing it. We all say, oh, God must have wanted that to happen. But if the devil came and killed somebody, and we only saw it happen, that automatically says the power of the person that did it is responsible. Who we say is God. But if it goes to the hands of the person that did it, God didn't murder and kill. He didn't hurt anybody. Only the devil did. So because the action of life, and when these violent things come on us, it forces us to only see the source. But if the source is from the person that would have only did it, we're not taking it to God anyway. We're taking it to the person that did it. So we're praying, because that's what's doing it. And if God's nowhere, if murder is just all sweeping throughout the earth, and God's nowhere to the person that's murdering, remember, oh, it must be God's will for it to happen. We're giving it to the person. We're giving it to the power. By itself, we would have never gave it to God. The prayer would have been, oh God, stop this person from continuing to do this, and you're putting dirt on things that's beautiful and clear and perfect and pure, and you're messing it up. Mad at the artist, you get mad at the person that messed it up. So because murder, death, and violence messes up the beauty of the earth, you wouldn't charge God for it. This is his. You would help him. God, this ugly stuff that's here, this things that's happening, this betrayal that's caused, forcing your word, your love, your hands to be taught to people, to be rescued by it. Help discontinue this. Let's clean it up. Let's prevent this murderer, this R-worders, this violent person from continuing to do these things. That's how we would talk. That's how we would present ourselves to God. We wouldn't be wrapped on the murderer doing it again. Because you gotta understand, it's only him doing this to everybody. When people get sick, when people fall down and they died because they broke their neck, when someone puts their hands on someone to cause them to no longer be alive, this is all him. Once we realize we're asking him not to kill us, not to do it, not to hurt us. It's only him. It's only his power. You wouldn't ask God not to hurt you. He's not hurting you anyway. So because that power, that now has the power to take your life and hurt you, has forced himself to be the reason you live and die in your eyes, because he just let you live today and took someone else. So now it's, oh, I hope that doesn't happen to me. You would have never feared your life coming to an end, but was the one guiding it. You fear your life coming to an end because the person that would do it has it in their hands. And any given day could be your day. He does it to you. So seeing it happen to someone forces the fear. Even if you didn't know he was on TV, or someone was murdered. Oh my God. You know, that's it. That's the discipline. That's the discipline. There's a war going on. And it's the same. And because he will, your life is so scared to die. In this life, death has disguised itself as God taking you out of it. And because only God will take you away, death can now say, I took you. And you are forced to pray to death, you guys, that death doesn't come. When God himself isn't the creator of it, it's only Satan's weapon. So you're asking him because you only fear. Think of the fear. God equals no fear because it's not his hand. If the hand of the murderer is only from the hand of the murderer, from the devil, you're not asking God to do that. He wouldn't have did it anyway. You're asking the devil who would do it, you guys, for safety. It's his punk. It's his flinch. It's his, I'll do this to you. I'll do this to you. I'll do this. But it forces you because in this life, you will die. It forces you to think he's the one. You understand where I'm coming from? It forces you to believe he's the one that would do it. When he's not. It is God. But because of the fear of it, you're forced to follow who stops one day and does it the next. And that's all it is. If he's the only one with the bat and someone got hit in the head with a bat yesterday, and for 3 days he didn't hit anyone, so for 3 days you felt, oh, the bat head guy is nice, and then on the 4th day he hit someone else with a bat. That's just to show you and keep you in that section. This is what it feels like when I'm nice. You know what it's going to feel like when I'm angry. Now you're forced to not make them angry. Now you're forced to want those 2-3 days of good. That becomes every day in life. And because death, you see someone taken away, something bad, this happened. It makes you like, I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want it. That's not God. So now the Bible is pray against this thing making you run. When it's the thing itself making you run. Telling you to pray. Because it now gave you a false religion. It forced you to live your life like that. And now it's forced in a false guidance of that life. With the only tools that it knew to through it. Ragged and upset and messed up to beat you down in this false, insecure life that makes you unaware, unknown, and you can't get in and out. That's the death. Because now you saw with your very eyes, I have to live my life. Like right now, where is God? Because no matter how many times you looked and went to church and did all these things, you know for a fact that person didn't put his hands on you. The God you open this book and read, you know that isn't who's, is you still looking. And there's some you go to church, come out, you still want to look. Because the church was taught to pray to the person that had killed the thing. The church would have had the guy threatened. But because the church isn't the real church, the people that got threatened could have easily been the devil's people. Or if it was in a violent way. If they believe a cross is Jesus, and you got this church that prays to the cross, and the devil does come in war with that church, he's able to take the church over because the knowledge the church has is the knowledge of deception the devil has loaded the church up with. So we're using his knowledge to destroy us against him. And he's so advanced because he put it in the pathway of us to block us. When we pick it up to use it on him, he knows it isn't going to work because he tricked us with it. Now, if a church has been taught that, and for centuries and years, everyone gets taught by that church. Now you see what I'm trying to get you to realize. Even the church itself shows you're praying to something else. Because the church isn't following God. So what led the church to not follow God? Which would have been impossible if the church is God. So now that makes the Bible look contradictory, because outside right now in real life, I opened the Bible and I went to this place here, and this place here isn't like what the Bible says. How do you know the Bible said that place? Just because it's called church don't mean it's that place. God is saying. And that's another thing. How can the Bible contradict something that... See, this is why you don't read the Bible in parts. These people were right there with God when God said it. God wrote down in the Bible. They were there. They experienced it. They taught it. They led it. They gave the wisdom of hope and peace and justice for everyone to have that feeling and know God existed. Pray to your Father. Know God. Get to know God. Be invited into God. Find your favor and your place and your peace with God. Please. So this becomes their message to all of the earth. Everyone knows God because of these individuals' messages. So to 100 years later, that person that taught those messages is still the person. The Bible didn't morph just because it's 100 years later. New people are born, they pick it up. It's still what was taught. So I just want you guys to get an understanding. There's a difference. You can't leave him. It's already founded. It's already, these things happen. So you can't take bits and pieces of what people saw. The reason it's wrote. And because we aren't living nowhere near. If we open this book, just because we're living in the same oxygen, we automatically just stomp our feet and say we have that. We don't even pray to the same God. Do you understand that there were people in the Bible that were walking with God? Then there were people that didn't know him at all, but they praised a God. So when they met, they said, no, this shoe is the God that gave us life. And our people who was with God, who walked with God, who learned from God, said, no, it's the Heavenly Father, Jehovah, who we walk with, who we live with, who we praise every day, who's with us now. That's the true God. So it's not them fighting or warring. There's people that believed strong that this was God, even though the one true God is really walking with these individuals. And my point for that is to see, you see the clash. No, my God is the God. No, our God is the God, even though their God is. Do you see people subject because they don't know? So how does he work? Now, this book was there too. How to know the Bible was there? If the Bible, which is Genesis, was wrote by Moses, but Moses wasn't born yet, it shows the ability to do something before you are able. So the Bible being here before it was able, meaning before these things came to pass. Revelations, which there's no sign that a war happened yesterday for us to think the end of the world is today. It would have to have been look, it ain't just gonna go boom. There would have had to been a war in front of a war, in front of a war with a war. And God's war, not an earthly war between two places. We don't even know whether to support one or the other. So how is it the end of the world when we can't even determine if these two people are good or bad? How are we going to determine the end of the world? I want you guys to stop killing yourselves and everybody else around you with this foolishness stuff, man. This foolishness is crazy. It's crazy. What up, Janae? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Pay attention to God. And if his way, the whole world sitting there waiting, don't know whether God's this way, that way, and he sends someone to show the world that don't know, which is crazy if you're reading the Bible, and he just showed them. Then you get to another generation, and at what time all of a sudden they don't know God now? Think about that. And to look and to find, and they're searching, nothing, no answer, nothing. All of a sudden he sends someone to guide you. It never worked like you just did anything. So that's another hoax. You can just do things. Think about that. You're trained to think you can. And ain't nothing in this book said these people just was chilling and found him. It didn't work like that. So he's not going to be found, you guys. If the whole world from Genesis and every other book was because he sent someone to guide, you think you're just going to just out of nowhere, we're just going to find him. And especially no one's passing you information of past anything to guarantee you to have something. And remember, here's the key of living. If it's past knowledge you learn, look at your present that's getting ready to come. You would be somebody or somewhere or something that has a footprint and a spot in your opportunity to meet him and know God and walk with him. That's the history. Everybody that was alive until, and he never missed sending someone. All you gotta do is go Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King got assassinated. We got the Black Panthers. Black Panthers, you get hip hop. Hip hop, and you get the 90s. Excuse me, you get gang members. Gang members, you get the 90s. You get hip hop, rapping. You get Pac and Biggie, you end up getting killed. Pac and Biggie, you get Aaliyah, 2000, her plane crash, 2000. And it just we kept getting people. Now, they may not have personally said, God told me to do this, but they did something for you. So even if those weren't prophets, he sent us something. Now look at the white people in the world. And all the Britney Spears and the Justin Timberlake, all the music they listen to. Look at the people I just named. I went from Martin Luther King, Panthers, gang, Pac, Biggie, Aaliyah. And these are gifts that only for some reason one special group of people would have really, really, really meant something to. Even though the world sees and can do, interact, and get all love, inspiration, one group of people needed it. So what in the Bible teaches of one group of people that only come the prophets from them because they need it from God? And I just named white people, Mexicans, Asians, whoever you want to put. What impact in the world? Because you're not going to give me a Chinese person and say this person did this and think I'm going to just really be sitting here, YouTube, Google, go to sleep with this. I'm not, and that's not racist. Talk about what do they really do? Give me a Mexican person and tell me I'm about to really listen and know something deep about being black. Then go to a Mexican, it's going to help. Then give me a white person. This is all everything white and going through and what white people do, and literally tell me something a white person does is going to help me out when I need something. That's any white person. You can pick Eminem, you can pick Donald Trump, you can pick George Washington. You can go back. Give me one that's going to mean something to me. Or put them 4 or 5 black, 6, 7 black people I put up, including the gang members. And the Black Panthers represents an organization. So you got Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Black Panthers, Marcus Garvey, Black Panthers, gang members, Crips and Bloods, BGDs, Vice Lords, Pac and Biggie, Aaliyah, right? And so on and so forth. Look at that. And look at their message to get you through. You understand? Regardless, get you through. And what's crazy, here you got a woman that can a man listen to and feel love, respect, want to love their grandmothers and their mothers, their daughters, because they listen to this woman. You know, so to get you through. And didn't listen to Britney Spears. Would rather listen to Aaliyah because it meant something that I don't know Britney Spears. Britney Spears doesn't know me, my life. I'm just proving a point. Now, if you want to talk about God, I just gave you all these different generations of people. Which one stands out in the world? And I'm only saying this one. Will he sin? And I just gave you everybody. From Donald Trump today, to a Mexican, to an Asian, to a Native, whoever you want to put. Who has God sent? That's my point. And it still isn't the prophet, a prophet, someone bearing the word of him yet. So look at them. Look at the capability. And they're not even on themselves. Because you got to get, their life ain't wandering the earth. It's walking with God, being with God, knowing their God. So their level is always going to be focused baptism, praying, not knowing anything. Because then you see man with full control, and not none of them got the word of God. Think of the book, forged power. Think of the book. It doesn't work like that. He has to send you to do these great things. No one does anything. So that's the law. The fact that sending, being sent, is your sign for protection. To know I sent them for you. So it doesn't just happen like that. What white person that ruled the world isn't honored today because they were sent by God, and we should learn about them, versus they themselves, we should honor these people because they did something. Look at the trickery, because the only history is from the white man. Your acknowledgement of someone starts because they'll beat you down if you don't honor them first. So the fact of a person in history and the world existed before the white man conquered this place, that there were great people that God blessed to do things. It started because George Washington and the first people, these people are the only people you were forced to only know. So the history of life, if you think, because America started, you look out to the world, you can't look before that because it ain't going to make sense to you. So it forced you to think only here. From here on is the start of life. And think of how untrue it is. If we come from kings and queens, we would have had to come from there. Not be here in kings and queens. We come from a place. So the history of time would have existed with us before these people even existed to be a great white person. It was a king and queen, God bless, established, fearing God bless black man and black woman first. Proof. For you to kidnap me, you'd have took me from something I had. So even though we only know George Washington, the real history in life would have been what the black man was doing before. Whew. Cold, you know what I'm saying? Very deep. And that becomes, that's the switch. That's the switch. That's the mistake. Because now God, that we clearly just said existed because the black man was doing something, God is now because the white man comes and shows you, I took this country to do this, I got this, I got the nigger hanging from a tree, becomes that, not the reality of yesterday and who he really was, which I just taught you. He sends people. The fact the white man told you you can go do things, it forces people to think like the white man is showing you. So now you only learn when with the white man come here, just throw you a crumb. The crumb is actually death and deception because he's teaching you wrong stuff. But because it's his, think you're speaking English. So it's gonna make sense in his world. It's his language. It's everything's his. If someone comes from another country, America doesn't try to learn their language. This is mine. So everything makes sense if I say so here. Only here. So that's the war, you guys. That's the war. No one's and that's why I preach. Remember, he's gonna send someone. So that's why I'm here to preach. Look at everything I said. If not everything I said was real, true life, and you just learned something that made you see God told you that, not Kakarot told you. God said it. Yes, that's it. That's what I'm looking for. That truth. Make you think. God was taught to you. You never learned and met the Father who wrote the Bible. You met who they put in front of you. If I'm lying, why is Jesus blonde hair and blue eyes? Because they surely weren't talking about this person if they already knew God looked bald headed and had a long beard. That's Santa Claus. So think about that. They already gave you his son, blonde hair and blue eyes. The purpose was to get you to see they are teaching you God. And it's who they said is God. You haven't met Jehovah. You haven't met the author. You haven't met him. You met theirs. So this whole time the black man has been competing with knowledge they gave him. And he's been trying to find it on his own, but it's still in relativity to what they taught him. It still has Jesus did this on it. So the black man has been learning from this Jesus did it perspective. Even if he gets far, it's still Jesus did. Only trying to corrupt them. So he pushes it further and further and further and further ahead, away from where the real truth is. The Bible itself teaches how the white men stole this from them and forced themselves to be in replacement, putting themselves as it and making the true holy children of God to feel they were less and children of the devil, and had to honor the white man as the real children when they were the real children. And this is how the story goes. And the white man got them to believe, this is the story of the Bible, don't follow their gods. God already, sorry, TikTok restarted. God already said, God already said, don't follow their gods. So when you became in their captivity and he warned you, don't follow their gods, they were able to force their gods on you and you followed it anyway. That's the truth of the book. If God leads you as slaves somewhere and he says, don't listen to them, and they give you a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus, who did you listen to? Because he didn't give you no Jesus. Not yet. Someone else did. What did you do? You followed their God. That's the point of taking you somewhere. You're a slave. Don't listen to them. And what did they just so happen to give you? Jesus Christ. And God. The Holy Bible. They gave you how to look at it. Why? Because they lied in front of you and tried to show this is what the Bible is. And so God is that person to us. He's not the Father. That's where he's upset. Because clearly we're listening to them, biting that forbidden fruit instead of listening to him, which we would have learned. If Kakarot can sit here and teach you this and say these words, clearly you're listening to in a complete sentence. Where did I get it from if not every other pastor is teaching you that? He's going to send one to get everyone to him. Why is it so difficult to see someone on here? No beans, not begging for money, nothing. A joy to teach something that he just so happens to keep coming on here. And I hope I'm not disappointing God. And I hope I'm not disappointing you. But just keeps teaching this. That every time keeps opening up. You think I'm just someone getting a kick out of, I go to people's rooms, I see how people can get, and they believe in what they say. This is a new book. I can only get where the next page is gonna go. So there's nothing about me other than I'm here doing what I'm supposed to do. The special thing, look what I do have though. Look how I do see it. Look how I do try to open everybody's eyes. Think about that. You were being lied to already. The fact of evidence that the blonde hair, see, you forget because everyone believed in Kakarot so much. You even forgot the blonde haired blue guy existed because I've taught you how to get away from it. And you got away from it. Bringing it up because that's a clue. That's evidence. That's proof you tried to teach us something. That's not me now saying, oh, we learned about some other God and I'm making it up. That's right there. Someone just tried to say this person is your savior. When God himself warns you, because it's not going to be like that. And if you had his picture would have moved and did something for you. His picture, obviously, because you didn't see him. You weren't there to physically touch him. That picture is going to be your way. He would have took that picture for you to have it as well. And no matter how old, it would have always been there. And here's another thing we learned. It says Jesus, look, you guys, we're not in Jesus yet. But do you guys know it's highways built? It's been highways built. That now the God is no longer requiring bridge. He's using the word highway. And did you know he mentioned Memphis in this King James? Because he's giving you a sign of where it would take place. If he's mentioning slaves somewhere for 400 years in the Bible, and he starts to mention Memphis, but they're in that they're in that place that Memphis is in, meaning the place that they're kidnapped in, this big country, a place called Memphis is there. But here's the key: there's Memphises all over the world that got people 400 years as slaves in it. Look at the Bible. Look at God. He's gonna send one, right? Look at me. It has 400 years as slaves in it. Like, come on. And they're still there today. See, that's where this war with Israel, the Jews, but they're back in their country. There's no Jews here in America fighting Iran. That's over there. The Bible states Israel would still be trapped as slaves in another place for 400 years is the sign. Always remember 400 years, because that's what they would have had to been gone through somewhere else, not in their country. They can't go back to their country. So now this war and this Israel or these Jews fighting Iran, that's not Israel. That's not the real Israel. It's not the Bible. It's not what God's talking about. They're tricking you. Blonde-haired, blue eyes, and they start calling these people Jewish people. But watch. Hitler killed these people. And his symbol, the Ku Klux Klan, killed these people, blacks. And the symbol, the same symbol. Why is Israel and blacks victims of the same sign of the people that killed them? The only two. 6 million to Hitler and 12 million to the Ku Klux Klan. But they all say, "Hail Hitler, kill the Jews, kill the niggers." Why? And the Jewish people aren't somewhere for 400 years like the blacks. Who's the Bible talking about? See, and they get mad at Kakarot because I teach we. Now there's a lot of people that we're the black, we're the chosen ones of God. Look at how I'm teaching you. Look at how I can go to the Bible every single time to teach you this is God. Not Kakarot is saying God. The Bible can say this is God to help me. Am I going right? Am I doing this right? Am I walking right? The Bible says God. And Kakarot is, I don't say, oops, I'm sorry. Apologize, I said this. I taught you guys this was this, and then I come and say, I learned this isn't that. You don't hear me say that, which is good. For a weed smoking, not preparing, not training, not even trying to act like he knows any sense remotely. I don't have a dumb A. But there's a posture, there's a way, there's a swag to all of this to really mean you about your holy business. I have been far from taking any of these things. And yet, I'm not apologizing for anything I said, done, taught, teached you. You know. So, and my mind is guessing. Verse 100% know it. I'm not even studying myself to make sure I'm right. I'm going like a like a like a jackass, and I'm moving. I am moving, and the fact that I never have to go back and apologize and say I'm sorry I taught you something is something to someone that's trying to make mistakes when I preach, when I talk, when I'm doing these things. I wanna not tell the truth. And I can't help myself not do and do and do. I can't not tell the truth. And I've been trying just to get myself ready for the day I do tell the truth and feel I'm telling the truth and want to tell the truth. I know there's nothing going to stop me if I've been burying myself in lies and still found my way out to the truth. That's my worth. I sacrificed a lot doing good, but I have not thought to step to this pulpit and give you the grace, especially from what I saw. Look at how wise I am at prayer. I already knew, and it wasn't the day I get exposure I would expose and give light. Had nothing to do with it. I already knew. Look what I got on Facebook. So the fact that I've been sitting here teaching you guys all these things while learning, but yet, to some extent, I've saluted and gave you, just this, you feel you taking something from me. I have to be happy to say I've gained and I've grown and I've prospered from my experiences. Whether you shot it down, I lead the world. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's what I'm saying. You lead China and Beagle, but you don't own Kakarot. That's the mistake everyone makes. The fact that my content doesn't rely on you at all I need is record, camera, live, feed, and go. And I can go. It sucks you suppressed me to just your app when you allowed me to grow with nothing. Do you understand when people get something that pulls them to go further than they can go? And I sit here every day, even if it's not every day with nothing. I got Janae, but 0 people, 0. No one's here, and yet to get the work and objective, to get the message done, the energy, to get the nativity finished. That is the way of Kakarot. And Beagle wouldn't support the effort. Beagle isn't, Chinese, Asian. They don't, Jehovah isn't probably who they know. But that still doesn't, of all the, see, this is how I can understand. If someone's talking, they're saying the reason we, but of course themselves. It can't tell me something to be lost. So, you, and if you're black, if you're white, if you're Asian, if you're Mexican, you know what it's like. Someone of a different nationality could never know what it's like to be that. Chinese believe Buddha. Why? Because their culture have been led for that. If the Chinese thought in reality and wanted to search meaning, if they were forced to believe in this, forced meaning traditionally they knew psychologically it would steer you away. But because traditionally, and not to disrespect your culture, Buddha is who you've been introduced to. if you wanted to be wise and search and say you found a way from Buddha that it wasn't, let's just say, and you wanted to be wise, what would be so fearful if one man learned martial arts when the world was lazy in China, that he traditionally started the culture because he separated or she separated? Okay, well, I would respect, I don't say Buddha, I would listen. So just because I'm not Buddhism, you yourself are a human being. Some humans are doctors, some are firefighters. So because the firefighter isn't needed at the time, does that make him less and the doctor worth more? Or for the time of the doctor and there's a fire and the doctor can't put out the fire, is it his time to shine for glory? Because we've categorized who's worth and worth not. So on the art of you are Chinese, I'm black, there's no separation. And the art of you pray to who you pray to, and I pray to who I pray to, there's no separation. Because the art of, if it is Buddha and he created me, I'm his child. If it is Jehovah and who I pray to, and he created you and me and who I pray to, for you are his child, what's the reality of life? I met my father, the creator, the one who did it. So no one would beef with anyone. If my dad is poor and your dad's rich, should I be ashamed to introduce him to you and your father, and have your father introduce himself and you to my father? So there's no competition. If help, if you're doing something great and all you could give is inspiration, did you not do something to help? So the world is help because we look for our lives to have something it didn't. It's all about help. So because of that, and Jehovah is help, we look for God to always present the best options and routes and work for us on a daily basis, which henceforth could be him, the earth, or someone's hands. An animal can help you. And again, if even just inspiration is all that was given, is that not what was given? So it works. The pressure comes from when, I guess, that's the responsibility of one, and they forcibly withheld someone's, but that's not the conflict. The conflict is, it's not my problem. I have no problem, man. Shoot, I didn't see that, man. I don't know what everybody say. What they say, man. What did they say, man? Ain't that something new? It's only making love. I did that. I know you're not. I know. That's. I know, man. I know. He was about to. Ain't gonna catch me. 323, my nigga. 3, my nigga. 8. Yeah, I know. Take your dad. That's your dad. He was just talking about his God. He's about to do something. Now he's just look. He's what? That ain't him, huh? Cuz it's all good. Understand? You need to back up then, boy. Understand? Nigga disown you. That's crazy. Ain't that something? How that feel? Boy, what are you doing? What made you do that? Crazy out here. What are you jumping? You running from on there? No, for real though. I gotta ask that one now. I have to ask this question. What are you jumping from? Hey, sounds about yeah, man. So you live like like you, man. Are you living like you, man? You want somebody else to live like you. So living like you is what? What's living like you like? Oh man. I know it ain't. I know it ain't. I know it ain't 8 on the 10. Hey, no way. You just go. You just. Is that key? Is that key 8 on the set? Yeah. Dang. Hit. I hit, man. No. Oh. Hit too. I ain't got no. Straight up, for real. Anyways, it's all cool. Oh shoot. I just got attacked by a nigga. I'm trying to preach. I gotta roll up my bud. Roll up my good on the chat. Hit the roller on the hood. We can light up dub. We can hit dub. We can smoke dub on the chat. Had to do all that for this cuz nigga to serve me. That's what I'm talking about. You all that into all that on the set. You know what's happening. Do all I own everything on the set. Everything him. He did it in the tent. You lying, cuz? You snake. You snake. You snake ain't. You snake ain't turned the chin. That's what I'm saying. Snake ain't. Ooh, still didn't throw it down. That's why it went snake. Snake. You snake ain't on the chest. Yeah, this nigga snake ain't. Snape ass. I'm cool, cause I'm out of my business. That's so what? I know everybody, yeah. He's on, yeah, he's not. He ain't the real one. Bro, you're attacking somebody. What are you about to say? What are you about to say? What did say? Were you about to say what did you say? Don't tell me your daddy's. Your daddy is this. Was that your daddy angel? Alright, man. Fuck it, girl. Yo, poppin' girl. Alright, we gotta get Malachi. That's what he gets. What you get. Sucker on the set. That's what he get. Trying to play with God. You hear me out there reading, trying to do my thing. I don't hear him reading, doing his thing. Sit here and do all that. That's crazy. You're not getting upper nothing. Upper shit in the chat. Upper room. Upper old nigga. For real, he's something just racist. He's doing it to help the white man, this black nigga. He done did everything. It ain't nothing said, nigga. What you talking to? Look. This nigga just said thank you. Wouldn't you have not? Thank you. Look at you. Okay, that's why it's on the other side. Thank you. Don't get smart, nigga. Oh, all right. Let's go. We about to break this down. Malachi chapter 1. I was just upset. He always trying to bother me when I preach. I really see a lamb minding their business, and here you come bothering them as to compare innocency. I can't do that. Can't move. I'm doing my thing. I was looking at you. Straight up. Oh my God. Well, what's up, nigga? Say I'm getting smart from over there. Sitting there trying to say, I know. Trying to show out. Look. This nigga's a straight up in the head. Look. What's up, nigga? Play with her. I know. Ain't nowhere. Nigga, anybody care. Nigga, I just said that. But you go over there with him then. It make no sense. Why don't you go with him, boy? Shift said, look over there. Either watching while you talking. Ye offer polluted bread upon mine altar, and you say, where have we polluted thee? And now you say, the table of the Lord is contemptible. And if ye offer the blind for sacrifice, is it not evil? And if ye offer the lame and sick, is it not evil? Offer it now unto thy governor. Will he be pleased with thee, or accept that person, saith the Lord of hosts? And now I pray you, beseech God that he will be gracious unto us. This hath been by your means will he regard your persons. Saith the Lord of hosts. Who is there even among you that would shut the doors for naught? Neither do you kindle fire on mine altar for naught. I have no pleasure in you, saith the Lord of hosts. Neither will I accept an offering at your hand. What up, Tanisha? For from the rising of the sun even unto the going down of the same, my name shall be great among the Gentiles, and in every place incense shall be offered unto my name, and a pure offering for my name shall be great among the heathen, saith the Lord of hosts. But ye have profaned it, in that ye say, the table of the Lord is polluted, and the fruit thereof, even his meat, is contemptible. But ye said also, behold, what a weariness is it, and ye have snuffed at it, saith the Lord of hosts. And ye brought that which was torn, and the lame, and the sick. Thus ye brought an offering. Should I accept this of your hand, saith the Lord? But cursed be the deceiver, which hath in his flock a male, and voweth a sacrificeth unto the Lord a corrupt thing. For I am a great king, saith the Lord of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen. Well, I was just saying, all you guys gotta look at what I've done. But I called him my father with no fear. My dad, my pops, we've argued, we've warred before I got to spank my best. I got my ass beat. I got beat. He done it like we've been cool. I, spanked it in front of a lot of y'all. So I've never think of disrespect, and the fact that my father and I are that close and that important to each other. I don't know. My mind is always gonna be what I taught. It's always gonna be what I learned. It's always gonna be what I recepted. What I recepted was that's what he's doing. But will I do that? Because all we gotta do is replay everything. And I'm not gonna let O go through that like that. That's not it. Because I see everything's gonna help him, no matter what he chooses to do. Yeah. His way, the way is gonna be there for him. But he's not gonna be alone. I'm not gonna do that. It's all questions. So what is in my hands versus what is in my father's hands? He always has room to do something else. He always has room to disrespect. He always has room to break his promise. He always has room to give you a serpent when you ask for bread instead. So I got sick of it. And that is God's tabernacle. That is. Got cold on. That is his table. That is. Because that's the one thing he does. He lures you. He'll do the miracle. He'll do it. And it may be half sideways or whatever. However, he'll have it come true. But that's to lure you. It's the agreement that gets you. Now that you're hooked with the blessing, with the gift, that it came. If he set a date and on that date it happened, you're hooked. That's what gets you. Then comes, the one thing he gives you. Then, what you might have wanted and asked and this and that. The other thing was just to lure you. But when you want it, that comes he's never going to. It becomes becomes endless, 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 endless. Next day, I got you. Do this, do this, do that, do that. And you're used to who, smiled and said, here, this is what you've been missing. I would have did this for you. And you get hooked. God, now that raised you to be this way, doesn't act like that. So that becomes my war. I never would say God is corrupted, and he's not. God is love. God is protecting me. God is fighting my battle currently. Everything Kakarot is right now, God did it. The war becomes soon as it's not. And how am I not going to know it? That's my issue. That'll always be my issue. God leaving his own words to be and do and give you something else. That was it. Like right now, if I presented God to everyone, which saved my life, which loves me and holds me as my father, I couldn't present him to you because he's full of lies, deception. He's full of shit. I couldn't give you him. So the fact I'm fighting who he is, I'm putting him together. I have to make him and present him to you. And it's not someone I'm going to not like or want to be myself. Be like myself. I'm not going to want to, that's the difference. He's been teaching me to do everything I would hate. So I had nothing but negative things to say. Even if my life was surrounded by good and blessings and everything, I couldn't say it because it outweighs it. Especially if that's what he thinks of. Me saying God is love and he's everything, he's this perfect person, and he isn't. That's where we're getting robbed at. Because now I'm promoting him to be like that. And he is like that. But he isn't. That's the war. For this person to catch my attention and say, I've done something, which I honestly feel to my father, if I did, I'd done it, I'm admitting it. But it was always because he was always someone else. Always. And if I suffered from Tupac, if I suffered from the devil, if I suffered from Lucifer, if I suffered from Satan himself, why would he do the same thing? Because then there's nothing he's teaching me. Do you understand what I'm saying? If the point was because what Tupac did was Moses to Pharaoh, Jesus to Satan, which was Satan. You know what I'm saying? Look, Moses to Pharaoh. Dope. I wasn't there. I haven't met Pharaoh. I met Moses, but I wasn't there with, Jesus to Satan. I wasn't there. I haven't met Jesus, but I've met Satan. So I have one of those people that I can say I have been face to face with. You know what I mean? And if the objective was to see what Satan was doing, this is what God would never do to me. So don't accept that. And I had to learn that from the devil. But God teaching me. But I had to learn that from the devil. There was God because Satan bows to someone. So when Satan ran after me, immediately you're going to run to God. But because God was who he presented to me as well, I ran to him, who was only who sent him and was doing it as well. So that became my protector. The same person that sent the whole thing and set the whole thing up while I was aware of it, trying to dodge him. Ran right to him thinking it was him. Or not, but I ran to God picked me and took me and got me. But, it was as if the devil himself did it again. But I wasn't aware of God like that while I'm looking for him. And aware and didn't want it. God was sinking in the whole time doing it. That's what's happening right now. and I refused him, got him out, but it's a sign. Fighting all this, fighting the devil himself is only getting you ready for someone who is. See, that's the key itself. All these people worship him. Listen to the one telling you that there's someone else higher than Satan, higher than the devil himself. The devil gets his permission from him, and he's the one that did all these things to Jehovah. So now that becomes the fighter. But because if the devil himself made you feel the presence of God was around, you have no idea what this person's capable of. If he's responsible for him. But here's the biggest sign. He would have had to send him. And he would have had to turn on God himself. So who could have sent the life of the devil as someone that harms you? And he himself went against God. So now look at who you're facing. Someone that will create that atmosphere for you to be in the midst of Satan with love and betray you himself. Because his image is to turn on God. So who's holding you, keeping you safe? So that's the person with me. See how that matches? That's who's in front of me, doing it to me. The same person I'm trying to get away from. God, the person that would break their word. That's the only word you trust. You don't look for the devil to give you that new car. So it would have to be someone you trusted. They're the reason you cry. Think about it. The story, supposedly the devil comes and interferes. And to God, what God would have for you. But the devil would come and interfere, try to do something bad to prevent it, oppress it, and make it go bad, go wrong. So you're told that story so it can be an excuse for it to happen. In reality, the person you're looking for is exactly the story, its description. When God and you have something, and this person comes and tries to mess it up, but you don't see yourself, what you just said. When you and God have something. So now, look at the excuse. Because the devil did it, it can't happen. So someone is giving you that. And you go for it. When you don't see, he just did it. The interference is the interference itself. Meaning, if God is giving you a description that God, the devil, is lying, trapping you, tricking you, and using his power to manipulate you, the fact that the issue exists, but because the issue exists, if God didn't know, he was going to turn his back on him. And now there's an issue in life because the person he trusted and gave everything to is now using it against him. But the manipulation comes because the action is the betrayal. If God tried to make love happen and the devil forces hate, it's in the same command as make love happen. So if God is coming to give you a hug, and in the art of being possessed by something evil, you get slapped instead of hugged. But it wasn't God that slapped you, it was the devil. But because it was from God's presence, you got hit. So that same betrayal of God, if God is going to do something, something had to betray it to make it go a different direction. So because he's giving you the signs of the betrayal, but he's also to let you know who. And it's this closest thing to me is also another sign. And Jesus himself said, he who dips his hand, the same is me. So it's the form that this person is the same. But if thy right hand offend thee, cast thee out. Casting out demons inside of someone's body while saving the individual and restoring the body, but having to destroy the body, destroy the thing, destroy the actual presence itself of what's causing it. Jesus destroyed his own temple, for what was inside was corrupted. Henceforth, the Antichrist emerging, for it was that deep on him. So if you see the scenario of God, this individual's kind of breaking in, breaching in, causing the betrayal, turning his back, making the mischief happen, is to say, I'm doing something bad. And the reason he gave Job over is to show when things are in his hand. But if it's in the form of Jehovah, in the form of God, and it's inside of him, he loves it, he trusts it, it's him. But it's turning on him himself, that he has to cast it out and no longer have it and part with it. For it's not an angel of something he can trust, it's an angel of wicked deceiving him. But it would have been of him, his own creation, to say, I love you this much, you're me, you're who I am, we are one. And it turned on him. You don't see that it's itself. What would have created the danger to put you in that and set it in motion for it to happen? Then go to you and say, oh, because of this thing, this happened. But it's supposed to be taking care of you and protecting you. You don't see it itself. The Antichrist, it's inside. If Jesus is coming saying, my God, it would have been his Father, because what would have gave him the ruling? And if Jesus is the Messiah, he's only displaying what happened already with this individual and his Father. So it would have been the same individual with him, doing it to him. But because if it's God, and even God didn't see it, you would have never saw it on Yeshua, because it would have been exactly what you saw. The same person. And because we never met God, we could never say the devil is anything, because we can't compare it. So if he's God, literally identical, the same person, the Antichrist, it's when you trust God and you get let down, the attack from the devil, like it reads, to let you down, it's only because you would have had to trust something to get let down from it. See, the devil's only the devil because he's not God. And if God is your everything, your holy, your trust, your truth, and who you say yes in, the devil would have had to present that and be your no, and what you didn't want and didn't have, didn't ask for. But you'd have had to go the same route, you guys. See, he's only using his name because it might just be his name. But the name that's unrighteousness. So you gotta go deep. If it's God, it's not some stranger. It had to have been equal to God, because it's from him. See, in this case, it's not a what if God did anything. He did create him and give him these things. So he does have it from God, not a part of God. Not everything's created and he gives him this. He's shared equal with God. God's favorite, his one anointed, his one thing that's meaning to him was this Antichrist. Who could have that been? And who would have asked for something of this person and really believe you would have got it from them? See, the only thing with Christ, it's God coming in the form of. So the fact that they know each other is why he hates Jesus so much. Who? It's that interference. It's when he interferes. It reveals it all. It reveals the betrayal. Because the devil wouldn't have came unless something wasn't safe. And the only way something is unsafe is if the devil's hands are on it. And God's is not. So now the hands of this person can send the devil while he's the true devil himself. So that sounds like power, something you look to keep the devil away from you and not send it to you. But then he sends it. Do you get the alliance? The devil doesn't come to people. He's haunted by it. He's sent to do these things. The devil is created to be a burden from the same person that created you to go through death. But it would have had to been by the hands of someone that can emerge this yes or no for you, and chose to give you the no, and always say yes to the things that hurt you. So that becomes the power. But because that's what he selected, who he is, where his hands is at, that's who he is, what he gets. You're in front of someone who really can watch, and there's a door for something good and for something bad, and it always prefers the bad. And the door open for good only is to lure you to go to the bad. So because that's what's in control, you need salvation. Someone would have to protect you. Someone would have to shun you from this evil and throw this evil thing that has the power to do this on your life, cause problems in your life, intentionally create and put things in your life, try to tempt you and get you off of the Creator and falsely portray they're the Creator. And you get lured by it. You get trapped by it. You get tricked by this thing that can do it. As the Bible opens, our Holy Mother, strengthened and wonderful, powerful, everlasting, faithful and dedicated, devoted, innocent, pure, a virgin, was tricked by the devil and misled away from God. So his power, think he got God, got Eve, got Adam, went to get the world, Cain and Abel, went to get the world, was able to kill Jesus. So God is describing someone, if it's him, if it's his opponent, and not opponent, if it's someone I established to be someone I trusted in my kingdom, look at what this person is doing against me. Against me. So that's the betrayal. Against him. If God is here to bless you, something is against him. Betraying the moment you open your mouth to eat it. There it comes. But if someone's using that as an excuse, you gotta see who could have even lured you in the first place to trust they were telling you something, when the rules itself, while explained, went a different route. Who could have the power to get your attention? So that becomes the serpent. If God is the creator and he only gives the serpent as the highest form of help to the world, what was the serpent's relationship when he opened his mouth? Why did the earth tremble to hear his voice? So Eve, hearing the voice of God, in the serpent believed God was talking again to her through him, as he should and supposed to, as he does. So he was lured with the fact of the presence. God was there. She was lured with the fact of the presence. Satan also possesses God's presence. That becomes the key significance of the whole story. It's as if God was with him. So to trust that is to put him, if God operates and everything's in his hands, Satan's hands were able to help hold and assist God to do great things. If you betray that, those hands now maneuver and everything to make it go bad for you. If he was an angel to help it go good. So what's doing that to you? And he's not someone over there. He's someone close, helping him so much you can go to him yourself for help. Everything has to repeat. Although he's cast it out, you have to see the action yourself. So he's always reestablished in that position to reenact the betrayal until you catch it and see who he is truly. And remember, you have to be lured by his word. And if there's no word spoken, no one could have talked. Who could have spoken to you to get your attention so that you knew God was there? That becomes the key to who he is. And why is Yeshua casting him away? For being unwanted. So that becomes the discipline. It also becomes his personality. We don't want you. So we don't want you. What did you do? Who are you? What did you do? What makes you unwanted? So many questions to that. So God was asking me, you profane my you see the war. I stand for God, but I also could not settle for something telling me something. When I know my Father and we would just do it. We would just go do it. Something was demanding me to break my light, my love, and how he raised me to see and to accept something that was quick to take. It was like Reuben Phelps. A whole establishment now attempted to be broken and forced to go off course in that direction. I was supposed to just take something I didn't know. That's like a Hebrew being forced to eat an Egyptian meal. But he was forced and didn't even get the correct opportunity to understand he is a Hebrew and this is the cuisine. So knowing God operates for us to be Hebrew, why would that be deprived from me to ever accept and want to eat like a Hebrew? God in relativity was feeding me Egyptian food. So that becomes relativity. I'd have been insane not to spot it. That's my defense. That's my defense. That's the only thing. I gave up fighting because every day I get up and I walk. I can pray to God. I can ask God. I can talk to God to help me along my journey. And he would make it worse. So a lot of my energy being attacked, being beat by the devils, being thrown down, hurt, to continue to do that for someone when you ask them for something, for bread, would give you a serpent or spit in my face, kick me in my face while I'm already down instead of help me. Knowing that was who I was asking for help. That's who I was fighting for. That's who I was suffering for. I refused to keep doing it. I got so upset. And God, what he would do okay, so say on Tuesday I got upset. He would, for a month, make me wake up and do it and say I didn't help you this whole time. So what's the difference? So he presents some difficult, and I said the only reason is because you didn't help. If I have a son, and every day that son should eat. It's a baby. He's a baby, a newborn. He should eat, and I don't feed that child for 7 days, and miraculously is still alive. Is that child supposed to look at me because I say, "Aren't you happy I didn't feed you for 7 days? So now you can eat?" Or with the fact you ate, you're eating, be what made now eating verse 7 days ago so worth it. And that's what I hated, because he would force himself not to help. So you starved yourself for that time. And then he would come and say, "See, now if I didn't bless you, what's the difference? Because I cursed you for 7 days instead of blessed you." And it's like, that's what he would say. And I would be like, "It's because you didn't bless me." It's like, he just showed how I saw that. It was like, he made me fight the white man, the Illuminati, the devil, just Ku Klux Klan, all these people, as if they were the reason people are hungry. They're the reason people starve. They're the reasons people don't have things. I wouldn't fault all these people only for it to be they're not the reason people do it. They are. Like, the whole reason you're hungry and starving and don't have nothing is America, is the Ku Klux Klan, is the white man. But look at what I just said. They're not. And they are, but they're not. Even though that's what they're doing. Me being here, my presence in my fight, they cannot keep you from eating if I say so. So I kept going. Then it went Illuminati. Then it went Bilderberg Committee. Then it went the Trilateral Committee. Then it went Rockefeller. It went all these things, all these people. Then Satan and the devil, then the Antichrist and the false God, and then this fake God, and this. It went all these things. And it just kept going further and further and further. The tempters. It just kept going further. Until I realized none of these people were doing it. God was doing it. In God We Trust, intentionally pushed in front of you as a hoax, is a setup. If God, in God We Trust, is really who's doing it. Do you understand what I'm telling you? If Egypt didn't just happen, it happened. And someone really oppressed someone's life as a heritage start, foundation, by the power of someone else. That individual still exists, and he liked it. Who would think in life of God to oppress his child, his children, his people, but human life, period, and cause that as a scenario in the event that took place, and be that powerful that it actually took place and was written? That becomes even deeper in this story of only one God, true God, that created all this here. And there's someone that just so happened to make certain things go that way. Make them, not suggested, and God pick it out of a hat and that be the one, so he gets to have it. Actually can make it happen. Was that too much credit for him or not enough? I just know what I fought. And if it's deception, that's fine, 100%. But I know what I fought. And I fought someone that, could do certain things. I honestly feel it's God. Straight up. Because he's the only one that you would ask anything. So to be the one true God and don't put no God before me, it would have to be someone else offering their availability. And that's who's doing it. Because it's a God. It's not that Satan. Satan was used to deceive everyone. When he really exists, he's that character. But it's a deception to get people off of God and never put it back to him. And have him, Satan, take the weight. When God is Satan. Satan is God. They're Republican and Democrat pulling for each other. It's just Satan is the only known criminal. God pulls as the hoax of America, being this political light for everything. This government, this helping hand, issuing out assistance all over. So he portrays as that. But his alliance, his identity, his true shit, his nature, is Satan. It's that wolf. It's that wolf in sheep's clothing. It's that sheep in clothing of the wolf. It's really that detrimental. It's really him. It's really him. Now, is Jehovah God this bad person? Or is God bad? It's God. That's the truth of Jehovah. Any other God would have got it anyway. If it wasn't him standing there. So the fact of God is actually lifting up his heel against Jehovah. Look at the children of Jehovah for calling out God. Think about that. The real war would have been what Jehovah isn't and what he is compared to some stranger, some person, someone's not even in that category to do any of it. He couldn't do any of it. So that would never hold weight against God that can do all of it. That's the devil. It's exactly what he's trying to teach. Getting your hopes up in something that will not build you up. Instead, they'll only tear you down. But you didn't know that's who would do it. See, it's his identity. If he got God, best believe this person can get us. And his foundation is when, let's say you're depressed, you lost your mother, you're sick, and an angel comes and makes you feel good. That's him. Someone that knows, someone that's higher, someone that's greater than a human can be. They're the human assistants. And if he was the greatest angel, he knows us in and out. For he was the helper. So that becomes the identity, the helper of who? Of God. The helper of God. So if there's steps to get to him, you would have went to Satan before you got to God. So imagine going to Satan before you get to God. In the reality, cast down from heaven, you would get to Satan before you got to God. So, because that is the reality, it really exists like that. That's who you meet. Or, that's who has 400 years of time, power, and control. Job was given his time. I think it was 30 months. But the devil was told you have 400 years. And he used those 400 years to make sure we knew him more than we knew our own Father. For that was his hope. His hope is after we go back to him. When Jehovah frees us, it's to bring us back to him. Okay. Okay, y'all, I'm about to call it a night. That's Malachi chapter 1. We will continue with chapter 2. I just gotta say I love you. Thank you. And my biggest secret, let's just say what I asked God for now. He promised. I was saying that ain't what he was supposed to do. I was complaining. He promised he wasn't gonna do something. Wasn't supposed to go that way. And he kept his word. And